So Skeleton Crew episode 4 just dropped, so let's talk about the good things with this episode and the things that I didn't like so much about this one. So I think the humor in this episode is actually really good, and in the series so far, the humor has been really good, like with the kids, they make jokes with each other, and they just act like normal kids, like me and you would have acted, when we were in, elementary school, middle school. So I think that's really good in this episode. Another thing I thought was really good in this episode was when the droid SM-33, they try to get into his memory about At-Atin, and he freaks out, saying like the last person that tried to do that told him, if anybody else tries to ask about At-Atin, destroy. And, he goes absolutely off, which I thought was a really cool change of pace between how he normally acts. And I just thought it was kind of cool, to see a different side of the droid. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't think this episode was great. And so those were some good moments in this episode so far. So the bad things with this episode is like completely different in its tone than in the first 3 episodes. Now, obviously, this series is meant for younger audiences, so it's kind of weird when the kids are in like a war zone on a neighboring planet. It just seems kind of weird from the first 3 where, it's really, just like, yeah, we're here for the adventure, and then now they're in like a war. It's just really weird. And then along with that, Neil and one of the girls who's fighting are talking about how like war is bad, and it's just kind of weird how they're trying to tell the audience war is bad in a kids show. It's just really different, and I just wasn't expecting that with this show. I'm going to give this episode a 5.1 out of 10, and I'm going to give this series a 6.5 out of 10. The 4th episode was the worst by far, but I still think the series is really good.